Khulu, your workers are not happy at this 0% increase you guys have put on the table.
Well, yes, they are not happy, but from our side, we put our books on the table to explain that currently we are not in a position to make any offers or any promises because of the financial difficulties that we are facing as a company. The biggest challenge that Eskom is facing is that our revenue is not improving. For the last 10 years or so, our revenue has been growing at about 1%. Last year it was 0.2%. So clearly things are not looking good, but our expenses are going up. Our costs on coal have grown up by about 15% last year, and our cost also to staff has also increased. So you cannot have a situation where your EBITDA is sitting at 20%, your revenue is growing at 0.2%, and your costs are growing at nearly 50%. Clearly, if you continue along that trajectory, you are heading for disaster.
I mean, I think under normal circumstances, anybody working in a company whereby you lay the numbers on the table like that would understand. Except what's different in Eskom's case is that you've got your workers who have been reading about executives who have been milking the pot unfairly, and now they're saying that why should we have to, pay the cost of bad leadership and people who were looting from Eskom previously and put them in this position? Why is that our problem?
Well, 100%. Their concerns are valid, and we take that. But remember, some of these people who we are talking about, many of them actually are either on suspension, others have been fired, and others have resigned from the company.
Those that are being suspended, are they still getting their salaries?
Well, they are suspended with the pay, yes. But remember, the company has a recourse in a way that if there's any link directly to them having done certain things that have resulted in the company losing money, the company can actually pursue this money from them directly. And also in relation to companies like McKinsey and Trillion, for example, we as a company have already written to those companies saying that we want them to refund the money that was illegally paid to them, which is 1.6 billion rand. So some of the measures are being put in place to claw back the money, and people are on suspension and others being fired. And even those who are fired or who have resigned, the company is saying we also have a recourse in terms of pressing criminal charges against them. So it's not like they're off the hook already.
And remind me again, Khulu, has Eskom received the money from Brian Molefe?
No. Mr. Molefe, remember, is challenging this matter. He's going to the Supreme Court in Bloemfontein to challenge this. So in terms of the law, once there's a sort of a challenge, we have to await the processes. So, but in terms of the High Court decision in Pretoria, Mr. Molefe is supposed to bring back that money, but he hasn't done so because he's challenging it.
Do you have plans in place should workers continue to, reject not getting a salary increase and down tools to avert any form of electricity crisis here in South Africa in the form of load shedding?
From our side, we have made a commitment to South Africa that we're not going to go into load shedding. But obviously, if people go on strike and do other things that are illegal, then it becomes a problem that the law enforcement agencies will have to deal with, because our facilities, our power stations are national key points, and therefore people are not supposed to be doing anything that is illegal there. And also what we know for sure is that in terms of the law of South Africa, not Eskom's law, people who work for companies like Eskom or the police and the military, they're not supposed to go on strike because we are declared as an essential service provider. So we are hoping that the leaders of the unions will do the right thing in terms of convincing their members not to go on strike. But from our side, what I know is that management is currently busy doing the audits, or the auditors are doing the audits on our financials. If there's some money left, there's a possibility, and this one I have to underline it, we are not promising anything, but what has happened before is that in 2015, when we were in a similar situation, when there was some money on the side, management took a decision at the time to offer what they called an ex-gratia payment to staff. I'm not sure if there will be any money left now. If there's something, maybe, just maybe, management might say, we do acknowledge that many people have put their weight behind the company, making sure that we do things and operate according to our targets. And then there might be something there, but at this stage, at least, we cannot make any guarantees.
But as you do understand, I mean, having observed labor relations in other sectors, I mean, there needs to be a negotiation from both sides. So is Eskom willing to move, even if that extra payment is not available, as you say, but is Eskom willing to also move a little bit, just to try and avert a situation where once again we've got the power utility holding the country to ransom in the event whereby there is a strike, and in the event whereby, you know, there's load shedding and economic growth that can't afford to be compromised is?
Well, from our end, so far, management has said, based on the numbers that we have, it's not looking good. We are not even trying to make any promises about any offer, because you can make promises now, and then after 6 months you are not able to fulfill your obligations, and then you would have shot yourself in the foot. So management is saying, let's all put our heads together and make sure that we improve our productivity and efficiencies within the company. Once the company gets itself out of this difficult situation, next year when things are in a better position, we might be singing a different song, then we can offer those bonuses and increases. At this stage, we are in a very difficult situation. We are not...
What about some senior managers also taking a bit of a pay cut to make some monies available? I do understand, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that the salaries of many senior executives there at Eskom are pretty high. And if you're in a situation where you're in a rut, can't we all squeeze together to make a plan, particularly for the lowest paid workers? We know the inequality gap in South Africa is just too ridiculous.
Well, currently management has decided not to have any increases on their level, plus also no bonuses. So no bonuses, no increase for them for the current financial year. In terms of a cut, I'm not too sure about that. You also don't want to be seen to be almost penalizing some people who have been not implicated in some of this wrongdoing. You are also competing in a sector where you now have the emergence of the IPPs. You are likely to lose some of these people if there are certain things that you do which are, I would say, perceived to be penalizing them. But from our end, what we are looking at is to make sure that we improve our revenue. Once we get that one right and improving our EBITDA and our financial performance improves, there might be a possibility of us getting some kind of a better settlement with the unions in the new financial year.